Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Jay, how are you, my friend?
Mike, I'm just fine. Isis, why don't you ever respond in kind to Miguel when he wishes you shalom?
I don't know what to say.
Well, it's statement of peace,
Yeah.
albeit in Hebrew.
You could probably just Bing, what is the proper comeback when someone wishes you shalom?
Peace be with you. Amen.
And
I don't
also
know.
with you?
Yeah.
Something, I don't
Let us
know.
pray.
But, yeah, you should come back.
Well, for one, by the way, I know that he's just saying it because he feels like he has to include me, maybe, because it's usually just like,
No, we don't-
Shalom,
no.
Biggie. Then just, how you doing, Jay? There's not really time usually for me to pretend to care.
Well, I got used to the fact that you don't respond. So Shalom, Big E. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Mike. How we doing, gentlemen?
Good, good. How was your weekend?
It's great. I was in Cleveland, the
Ooh.
land.
Cleveland rocks, I hear.
Yeah, I was at the Hall of Fame. Speaking of rock,
The
Yeah,
Rock and
rock and
Roll.
roll Hall of Fame. That was cool.
How did that go?
It was
Fun?
neat. Yeah, me
Have
and
you
Russell.
ever been?
I had never been. No.
Yeah.
Me and Russell went out there for some soccer, so we hit the Hall of Fame to check that out.
Yeah.
It's worth going to. Yeah, definitely.
I've never been to the Rock and Roll. I've been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Canton.
Yeah, in Ohio, but I've never. The Rock and Roll one. Is there anything there that someone Russell's age would get into it, or is it all like Chuck Berry's outfit?
It definitely, definitely a lot of that is over his head. There is some stuff that's more timely, like I don't know, Bruno Mars stuff.
Yeah.
Things like that. There's some interesting outfits that would
Yeah.
catch anyone's eye, and so he didn't appreciate probably 80% of it.
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
thought it was kind of cool.
Well, does he like music in general? Is he like I would have liked that stuff anyways, just because
Yeah.
I was fascinated by music. It was really the only thing that I was interested in.
Yeah, it was the same way. And also, currently, I guess it's probably the year. They just have the exhibit up for a year. The 50th anniversary of Rolling Stone is their big central exhibit right now
Oh,
on like
really?
2 floors.
The magazine?
So we watched the documentary
Yep,
of that, which we
sure.
thought was really good. And this has a lot of those pieces that are discussed
Oh,
in that.
cool.
A lot of the letters that were written and just a lot of cool stuff.
By Jan.
Yeah.
Is it Jan?
Paul McCartney back and forth with him, John and
Wow.
Yoko, all that stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, you had a busy weekend. I know they rescheduled the father-daughter dance,
Yeah, they
and
did.
so did you hustle back to get the tanny girl?
And
over
that
there?
little sweet pie was so. You'll recall that a snow day
Yeah.
canceled our first one a couple weeks ago.
a bullshit snow day.
Bullshit snow day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get started. But anyway, they canceled.
That is your kryptonite, is bullshit snow days.
Canceled daddy daughter, so the little sweet pie's all upset, and they reschedule it for the night that I'm gone. So my man Manny, I go to or Gab goes to Manny, our junior in high school son.
Sure.
Manny, would you take sweet pie to the daddy daughter dance? He's like, yeah, sure.
On a Friday, dude.
If I was asked that by my parent, honestly,
Oh.
the word "fuck" would have been included.
Yeah,
and the
me
word
too.
the word "no."
I would have been grounded for a week because my fuck no would
Yeah.
have been so loud
Yeah.
and so offensive that neighbors would have heard it as I was going, fuck no.
Are you
No.
fucking kidding me?
Out of the question. On a
Manny.
Friday night, I'm a junior. I'll be shit-faced by 9.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
So we took her to the dance.
Yeah, and she had a great time.
She
so,
did?
Yeah, got a little corsage and everything.
Yep. Did he cut a rug with
Oh
her and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. He was
for
the
him.
only brother there. Strangely enough.
Yeah, yeah. What do they? So what? I mean, I imagine some kids don't have a father. I mean, what do they just bring an uncle or
Yeah,
something?
maybe,
or-
maybe.
Yeah.
Gab emailed them before and was just like, "Look, this is the situation. Do you care if our son
Yeah.
brings him?" They're like, "No, that's fine."
I mean, if someone who doesn't have a dad shows up with their uncle, they're not going to be like,
Out,
Get the fuck
I want
outta
to see
here.
papers.
This is father. Do you understand, father daughter? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
They don't do that.
some lesbian dad shows up. I'm sure it happens.
How fun! How outrageous would that be? Outrageous. Oh man. Anyway, hey, big day for us today. We've been following the Olympics. Tanith Belbin will be checking in. Tanith White, actually. We knew her as Tanith Belbin when she won
Yeah.
the silver medal at
And
the
she
06 Olympics in
Married
Turin.
gold medalist Chuck White.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers him.
Do you think, okay, if you had a gold medal and Gab had a silver.
Yes.
Does that,
Yes.
is that an argument ender?
There'd be a, yeah, I mean,
I'll just lay this down here.
whose
I'm
gold is
sorry.
that on the wall over
Wait,
there? Oh, yeah. That's
I'm
fine.
sorry. Did you win gold? No, you did. No, that was me that won gold.
The problem is, they had couples, they had a pair, so you could always blame it on your pair, right?
That's true. That's but
well,
still, at the end, like
It's kind of a George W. Bush situation too. 41 and
45. You want to pass 43. You want to pass the potatoes, and it's like Governor.
Yeah.
You got Governor Jeb. He's sitting at the kids' table. It's like, yeah, don't talk to 41 and 43. You son of a bitch. Get out of
tough.
here. Yeah, that's that. God, what a competitive family the household that must be. So we'll check in with her in just a little bit as she is covering the Olympics for ice dancing.
Yes.
From South Korea. I hope we can get a good phone connection to South Korea.
Yeah. Hey, before we get much further, Mike, you
Yeah.
have an annual physical to make sure you're healthy. God
no,
damn it.
I don't.
Merck just
actually.
made me think of a doctor grabbing my balls.
Finger in your butt too.
What do you do to make sure you remain financially fit? Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial specializes in thoughtful and objective investment guidance designed to keep your finances in shape. Call him today, 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Was there a shooting that happened or something over the weekend or Friday or something? Trying to remember. Oh,
Rings
yeah.
a bell, yeah.
Yeah, why the country has lost their shit yet once again over a school shooting.
It's warranted, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah, it sure
Country
is.
should lose their shit.
They should. And I don't think anything will be done about it, but
It's an impossible issue to solve.
yeah, we've talked about it a ton over the years. Every time one of these comes up, the same pattern kicks in, and starts with thoughts and prayers. Then it gets into gun control, and then we kind of forget about it until another shooting happens.
Yeah.
And
The
it's
right
just-
gets mad at the left for politicizing the thing when
Yeah.
they absolutely should. It's a political issue.
Sure.
So have at it, Democrats.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. This one does feel a little bit different. I got to be honest. The kids that are that held the rally that they did. I don't know if you saw that at all. They were playing
Yeah.
clips. This Emma girl, Emma Gonzalez, turned into an absolute rock star.
Yeah, this does
over the
make the
weekend.
story very unique in that the students have really stepped out to the forefront, demanding change.
It was funny, man. I was anytime something like this happens, they were like, oh, we got to find someone who's involved in one of these, and so it's like, Columbine, go find one of the Columbine guys who are now 35 years old. It was 20 years ago, and so they got one kid, and it's like he was shot and paralyzed for a while, and then worked himself back up, and he's doing great. He can walk again, and he's got a kid now, and they're one of the anchors was like, so what message do you have to the students that are going back to school on Monday? And he's like, yeah, don't take advantage of the situation. And then he caught himself, and I was like, no, finish your thought, son. Finish your thought. And then he tried to feign like, this is really hard. He's like, no, take your time. Sorry, this is really hard. And I was like, nah, dude, you haven't been emotional for 20 minutes in this interview, and you actually were about to drop a very real statement.
Yeah.
That there's going to be opportunity to take advantage of this horrific incident. You're going to be tempted to do it. Don't do it. And then he caught himself in mid-sentence. Was like,
What do you think he was like? I wonder
I-
what he was going like.
He's probably specifically thinking of students that took advantage of the tragedy, who maybe weren't shot. Here
Yeah.
he is in the hospital for 6 months, paralyzed for years.
But they're
It's
the
like,
spokesperson of the event.
Right.
For some reason, Susie, who, was in the parking lot or
Yeah.
something that day smoking.
and who knows?
Maybe thought she heard a gunshot.
Right, and who knows? Maybe she's been paid for interviews.
Yeah.
All that kind of. She's written a book, and it's something like that.
Right.
And he's like, "You motherfucker!" And so it's like, "Yeah, don't take advantage of this." This is hard. I'm sorry. So yeah, it was terrible though for these kids at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Wow, that's a hell of a name, isn't it?
Yeah, wow.
Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Do you know who Marjorie was?
No, I didn't bing her.
Do you care who Marjorie?
I marginally care who Marjorie was.
I mean, if you go to Lincoln High School or something, it's like, yeah, Honest Abe, we're fine. There's a lot of Jefferson high
A
schools,
lot of
and
Roosevelts.
a lot of Martin Luther the King highs. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas is rare. Marjorie was actually a journalist in Miami who then got into activism and was really important in trying to save the Everglades.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Marjorie's contribution. And she's got her own school now. Isn't that fascinating? So thousands of people joined this protest on Saturday at the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale, about 25 minutes from the school where 17 kids are shot. And I got to tell you, man, it was different in, excuse me, having those kids like in classrooms, Instagramming or Facebook
Yeah.
living, and hearing the gunshots as they rang out and the terror in kids' voices, seeing the cop come in the room and, you know, everybody hands up, and this girl's arms are just shaking.
Yeah.
Just terrified. Absolute terror. And you think of the carnage that's in the hallway that these kids are going to have to walk by. Trails of blood. Like, we see it in movies all the time. We're desensitized to a lot of it, but you can only imagine what that would be like for those students. And it did take on a different feel. It's like the Ray Rice video. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, that story changed a whole hell of a lot when video of him dropping his wife in that elevator with a right hook
Yeah, it just
came out.
takes you right there, puts you right in the situation.
We all know what it looks like to be knocked out. Seeing it on video was a whole different thing, and that's what I thought when I saw it. But Emma Gonzalez criticizing politicians, and I hate doing this. Maybe it's just I'm so cynical, but anytime anyone's at a microphone in front of people, you can't help but feel the energy in the room and kind of get some adrenaline going. And I don't want to do that with these kids, but I can't help it. Like, you know, trying to amp it up a little bit. We're not going to take this anymore. Oh, you know. And I get it. It's emotional.
You're trying to
but
deal with it. It's, you know.
do you want to hear a second of her? She, this is the superstar of the group.
Yeah.
I don't know how many Twitter followers she has now, but it's got to be a ton. And there was only a couple things I took issue with, but go ahead, E. You can play some of that.
Panic attacks during the vigil because the helicopters who wouldn't leave us alone, hovering over the school 24 hours a day.
I found the guy on the left's hair distracting.
There's been one tweet that
I
I would
find
like
her
to
lack
call
of hair
attention
distracting.
to.
Yeah, I did too. I was able to get over
So
that.
many
A lot of
signs
follicle
that the Lord is
distractions.
mentally
Yeah.
disturbed.
But
Even
see this
itself
helmet
is
head on the
bad
left?
erratic behavior.
Follicular.
Even the
It's-
classmates
it's
who
too
knew was a
much.
big problem
It's
must
too
go in
much.
to report
Coiffed.
such
It's
instances to
it's
authorities
sprayed.
against
He
It is.
sprays that.
And it was distracting. I mean, I was able to look at her as like
Since
Linda
he was
from
in middle school,
Terminator.
It was
Be like,
no
all right, good enough.
surprise to anyone
Sure.
who knew him to hear that he was the shooter.
This is powerful right here.
Those talking about how we should have not ostracized him, you didn't know this kid. Okay, we did. We know that they're claiming that there are mental health issues, and I am not a psychologist, but we need to pay attention to the fact that this isn't just a mental health issue. He wouldn't have harmed that many students with a knife.
Looking at the hair again on the left. Shit, I'm sorry.
What'd she say?
I don't know. Something about, I wish he had a knife. I don't know.
How about we stop blaming the victims for something that was the shooter's fault? The fault of the people who let him buy the guns in the first place, those at the gun shows, the people who encouraged
And now we're
him
getting into the
to
rhetoric.
buy-
And then, you know, she goes on and, you know, they say a good guy stops a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS, and that was kind of the chant. We call BS, and so that us kids don't know what we're talking about. That we're too young to understand how the government works. We call BS. Senior David Hogg also spoke. Thank you for your prayers and condolences, but that is not enough. We've been hearing the same thing again and again.
Yeah.
Same thing continues to happen. We say stop it today.
I understand the emotion, certainly, and
Yeah.
sympathetic to him, but I wonder how far they've thought down the road. Like, okay, so what are you're gonna ban?
Yeah, they
Guns
haven't
and-
thought down
yeah.
the road, and
You can't blame them. They're
hell
kids. They're
no.
emotional.
dude. And I don't blame them in the least. I can't even imagine. We knew what it was like to have a friend get into a car accident and be paralyzed, and that stuck with me for a long ass time. I can only imagine if 17 of my peers were mowed down in the hallway of my school. I can't even fathom. But when I saw the signs, to your point, Jay, as to how far people have thought this through.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. Not one more. Gun control now. Save our kids. No more silence. End gun violence. Never again. Do something. You get the point.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of solutions in those. It's just like,
There isn't a solution.
right. Enough already.
Yeah.
Not one more. It's like, dude, if you think you're going to end mass shootings by making bump stocks illegal. I'm sorry.
Hundreds of millions of guns out there. There's mental issues. There's evil in this world. There's so many societal things that just get mixed up into this
Yeah.
mess, and for whatever reason, it's pushing this out. Now, can you take steps? Yeah, you take some
Yeah.
steps to avoid it, and security at schools. I think even given the expense of having to go through sort of a courtroom entry type thing,
Yeah.
I don't think is out of bounds.
Well,
why not X-ray every bag that comes in? Why not have
yeah.
a cop at the main entrance? Everybody has to go through. I know that it's an enormous bottleneck, but that's the
Yeah.
only way to somewhat stop it, right? And then
Well,
lock the doors.
I know I heard people saying, well, celebrities go out with armed security, and the red carpet is always protected with armed security, just like the bank is, and
So
just like the
expensive.
law house. It's like, dude, if you think for a second you're going to have proper military and or retired police forces at every school, dude, it's the thought is outrageous. The sentiment is fine. The thought is outrageous.
Even if you had
wouldn't work.
even if you had a couple rental cops though standing there just running bags through X-rays and just being at least somewhat of a deterrent, like you've got to go through this bottleneck to get in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's a step at least.
Well, yeah, it reminds me
Because, dude, I could walk into Lake Orion High in the morning,
Sure.
and then just camp out wherever
Yeah.
with my stuff and wait till an opportune time.
yeah,
But during the day, the doors are locked. You have to get buzzed in. But in
Mm-hmm.
the morning, it's just free for all entry.
yeah, and it always was when we were in school too, and we didn't have this problem. And we had automatic weapons then too, and we've had those for a long, long time. I don't know what has changed in the last 25 years in society that has made this.
Whole mix of bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't think it's one or two things.
I don't want to take the uber, religious right stance of we lost prayer in schools and now, but there's a difference between the Mayberry and Leave It to Beaver days where everyone looked out for it. It takes a village, Jay. We looked out for each other,
heard
and
that.
the principal would paddle the students if they got out of line, and you didn't talk back to a grown up, and you didn't have violent
You didn't have
video
social media that
games.
posts shit and makes
Yeah.
you, wow, everybody saw me. I need likes today. I need thumbs up. I
Yeah.
need hearts.
And it's a way for disenfranchised people to go out in a blaze of glory and be famous. They want to be famous. They want to be this kid wanted to be a famous school shooter. That's a thing now. Like that is so foreign to guys like us when we were in school. Like the idea that it doesn't make any sort of sense. But when we talk about regulation, this is where it bottlenecks. The Republicans do the same bullshit every time. It's too soon. We need to. This is time to reflect.
politicize this issue.
The bodies are still warm, and we're going to discuss this now. Outrageous.
It is by definition a political issue.
Of course. And the Democrats are going to do the same thing. And the way they keep going, like, oh, we've been trying to fix this forever, and these Republicans just want murders. They hate kids. They want them murdered. And it's like, stop it. You ran the House and Senate and the presidency. You didn't do shit about it either with Obama. And that was during Newtown. And so I don't want to hear it. None of you guys have done shit. None of you guys can do shit on anything. 90% of the country is in favor of DACA, letting kids that got here at 3 years old, who are now 30, and only really know this is their country, 90% are in favor of them just being citizens. And you pieces of shit can't even figure that out. So what are you going to figure out gun laws now? Stop it. Bump stocks, by the way, it's not even made by the gun manufacturers. It's an aftermarket. Fine, make it illegal. Who cares?
What's the size of the magazine, too? Not the clip, Mike. The magazine.
See, I don't even like that because
Dude.
these guys end up buying 500 magazines.
I know, but you know
know-
what? At least there's that point in time where he has to reload, You
Yeah.
can't just run through 30.
Yeah.
Make them 8 or something.
Yeah.
And then, so he downs 8
he
people,
gets one.
and then somebody tries to tackle him. I don't know. It gives you a
Yeah.
fighting chance, maybe.
What we need to do is make these schools gun-free zones, and so that nobody can bring a gun onto
There you
campus.
go.
That's what we need to do.
Drug-free, too.
And let them know that if you come in here and start mowing down your peers, you are in serious trouble, mister. This is a gun-free zone.
It's a mess, man.
I heard someone talking about, like, yeah, there's a reason you don't see people come running into a biker bar or a pawn shop with a gun. They're going to be met with the
they know
real
they're-
threat coming back at them.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, soft targets. I did see, the fear is that you go an inch, you take a mile. And so it's like, nope, not going to give an inch because you're going to take a lot of shit away. You're going to go too far with it. We can't trust you. That's how untrustworthy the politicians are. But when you really look at it, and people say, cars kill more people than guns do in a year. Why don't we ban cars? And people will say, well, yeah, but we put regulations on cars. We added seat belts so people stop flying through the windshield. We put anti-lock brakes on cars. These are regulations. We put airbags in cars now to protect citizens, and the death rate has plummeted from what it was 50 years ago, 70 years ago. That's the type of thing with realistic gun laws that you could do. I think we can all agree it's outrageous that a kid would walk into his high school and mow kids down. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't think the politicians can get it done. I don't. But there's got to be something. And maybe it's technology, dude. You lose your iPhone, it's fucking done. No one's getting into it. They're not getting into this. Why can't we have let Apple put something on the phone where, unless it's your finger, that trigger ain't going off? I don't know. Maybe people go, oh, that's unreliable. I don't know, but there's got to be some
Yeah, but why
answer.
can't this 19-year-old go buy a gun and have his finger as the imprint on that trigger? He had every right to buy the gun.
Yeah. I know.
I see what you're saying. There are steps that can be taken to lessen the chance of this.
Yeah.
You can't just throw up your arms and go, well, it's an unsolvable issue. Because it is. In the end, it's an unsolvable
It
issue.
is.
But you can reduce the chance.
And don't listen to the politicians who act like they can come up with a solution. They can't. One doesn't exist. If you're listening, if you're from that school, the reality is what it is. It's a free society with 300 million guns in it. You're not going to take them all. You can outlaw guns. Do you know you can't even sell or buy a gun in Chicago? It's illegal to buy or sell a gun in Chicago. Yet they're the murder capital of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, do people know it's illegal to have a gun in Chicago?
We need
Do
to
they even
inform
know
them.
that? Someone better tell them.
Ignorance of the law is not a defense.
And stop doing that bullshit thing you're doing. I see you politician assholes. Well, where they made it harder to get guns, actually the rates have really gone down. It's like, okay, don't count the whole state of Illinois.
Yeah,
Stop it. Don't pull that shit. You're twisting it. Chicago's a problem, and there's not a single gun store in Chicago.
Yeah, I think just for the overall good of society, people are going to have to bend on this. Like maybe, do we really need the AR-15? If we're honest with ourselves.
Well,
I know it's fun. I know it's cool looking.
you know what it is? It's cool looking. It's aesthetics. It looks nasty and mean. It looks
Yeah.
like a military gun. It does. But
I know
in
some
reality,
people hunt with it, but not many. Most
Yeah.
people just shoot it for fun.
and it's the weapon of choice,
Yeah.
man. There's no doubt about it. Although you could point to what's his name at Vodtech. He
Yeah,
murdered 32
pistol.
with a pistol. So, yeah, I know the AR-15 is a real topic of discussion. But people that know guns way better than you and I will say, dude, it's really not. I know it looks mean, but it's really no different than any other rifle.
Yeah.
Some
No,
people
but you
would
get rid
argue
of the
that,
high
but-
capacity magazine is the
Yeah,
point
but it's fun
with
to
it.
go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know it is.
Yeah.
But maybe as a society we have to go, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to have fun with that.
For
I
the
know
good
it's
of
fun
people.
for me, but
Yeah.
other people aren't
I'm
responsible
a
with
good
it.
boy
Yeah.
with my AR-15. I'm a good boy.
Hey, during Zot M59 Chrysler Jeep and Zot M59 Dodge Ram President's Day event, you get choices. Lease a new 18 Dodge Journey all-wheel drive or a new 18 Dodge Charger all-wheel drive or a new 18 Jeep Compass all-wheel drive. Your choice, just $199 a month. No need to call, email, or fax. Just head to Zot Chrysler Jeep or Zot Dodge Ram. Get your fresh new 4x4 for $199 a month, only from dealsinthed.com.
Jay, do you feel bad at all for Kimberly and James Sneed?
Remind me.
They're the parents that took Nicholas
Oh, yeah.
Cruz in.
Boy.
The kid that committed the murder.
I
at
don't
the
know
high
what
school.
to think of them, yeah.
Well, I mean, November, just a couple months ago, Nicholas Cruz's adoptive mother died, last living parent.
Right.
And so the Sneed's kid came home and went, I know this kid at school, he doesn't even know where to go. Can you live here? And they're like, so they take this kid in. He's troubled. He's just lost his mom. He wants to have an AR-15 in the house. And so they're like, okay, but it's got to be locked in the case, and you
Yeah.
have to ask permission to take it out. And shit like that. And, well, he did. He asked permission twice to take it out, and he would do shit like they said he ate weird. That he would he had habits like placing cookies inside of steak and cheese sandwiches. Boy, that sounds awful,
They
doesn't it?
didn't know how to use a microwave, apparently.
Really?
That was one of the things I heard they said.
So they said they failed to see the dark side. We had this monster living us. We didn't know. He was noticeably immature, but seemed to be growing happier. He had these unusual eating habits. We had pets. He didn't bother them. He didn't hurt them. The couple admitted that, yeah, we let him keep the AR-15 in the house. Can you imagine letting your... Yeah. But Kimberly said that she wanted him to go to therapy, and 5 days before this, she took him to therapy, and they went together and thought he was making some headway. And then the dad's like, on Valentine's Day, the day of the shooting, he's like, so you need to ride to school? He's like, no, I don't go to school on Valentine's Day. It's kind of like a personal policy. And the dad's like, all right, cool, see you later. And so the kid calls, how sinister is this, man? Kid calls dad at 2:30 while this is going on and says, hey, man, or I could say dad, the guy that, the family that took him in, calls him and says, hey, man, there's a mass shooting going on at our school. And then he's like, just get out of the building. I'll meet you at the Walmart. I'll pick you up in a minute. He's like, okay. Hangs up the phone. And the dad, this guy is driving to this Walmart when the feds call him. Like, where is your son? Where is this kid right now? And he's like, and so this guy starts putting together. He's like, I need cops at my house now. My wife is there now.
Yeah.
And they sent cops over there immediately. Hands off this mom's like, freaking out. And then
strange story. Just all the background of this guy, that, you know, just the days before, like you say, these people taking him in, and then, you know, the fact that he's alive is remarkable in this instance. The fact that he had this girlfriend who he was threatening. He said friends wouldn't leave her alone because he threatened to kill her. I mean, there's all sorts of warning signs. The YouTube posts that everybody's heard about.
Yeah.
The FBI dropping the ball.
The FBI got a call like a month ago or something, too, saying, you know, talking about guns. This guy's going to shoot up a school. And the FBI's like, all right, cool, see ya. Click. And
FBI's having a couple tough weeks here, aren't they?
Yeah. Police had been called to his house when he lived with his mom when she was still alive 39 times over 7 years for violence and suspicious behavior.
Wow.
Other neighbors called the cops because they'd see him come out of his house and just be like firing the gun. Then you had the YouTube post, and that pissed me off, man. When he wrote with his name, Nicholas Cruz, on some guy posted a video, and he posted one comment on the thing. I'm going to be a famous, you know... I'm
going to be a professional school shooter.
School shooter. And the guy that posted the video called the FBI, and they came to his house. The guy who posted the video.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know him? What do you know? He's like, dude, I don't fucking know the
just
guy.
had this YouTube thing.
Yeah, I posted the video.
Yeah, I told you about it. Now go talk to him, maybe. I don't know.
And the FBI's like, all right, well, we didn't really know how to find Nick, who that was, so... And I'm like...
How many Nicholases with a K, Cruz...
And I'm thinking,
are in the country, honestly.
Don't insult my intelligence, sir. You telling me you can't fucking...
You're the FBI.
You're the FBI. This is what you do. You can't figure out an IP address from where that came? Really? Dude, we tweeted at someone and the cops called us.
Yeah.
On our cell phones.
No, I tweeted at someone. I
right.
tweeted something, and people started tweeting at me. Let the record reflect, Mike.
And those sons of bitches called my cell phone.
Yeah.
I never gave the cops my cell phone. They called it.
Nor did I.
Yeah. So they're...
And that's just local police.
Yeah. They seem to be pretty good at finding people when they want. Although, you know, I know what do they call this? Crime stat bias or something, where you take all this information after the fact, after something terrible has happened, and it's like, oh, what did they call? Well, we did. And then they posted thing. We told them.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, what are you going to do?
I know, that's the thing, dude.
Seriously.
How many people just say dumb shit in posts, you know? And they're supposed to track down all million of those?
I mean, think for a second. Think about all the racist, horrific, I'm going to kill you posts that go on every day on all social media, YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah.
And what, the police are supposed to police all that? Not possible. Not possible.
You'd think, though, in this instance, to your point, Mike, the fact that his name is on his YouTube, on his Google account that commented on that YouTube, you'd think it'd be an easy follow-up. Like, all right, let's find this kid and at least touch base with him and see what the fuck his deal is.
And I totally agree with that. And then I thought more about it, and I'm like, what are the... He's going to go, yeah, I was fucking around.
And, yeah.
And they go, goddamn First Amendment. Shit. All right, see you later. Like, what are they going to do? Arrest him for saying something dumb on a... Well, you shouldn't do that. You scared some people, son. Like, until they do something...
If you see that name, though, and you look at the 39 or whatever you said contacts with local police over the last few years, then maybe, okay, maybe this is worth digging into now. Yeah, he said I didn't mean it, but let me just take a minute here and dig a little further. And that's what has everybody up in arms, is the fact that it appears they just didn't take a minute.
Yeah. But I just look at the reality of the situation is 999,000 times out of a million. It's nothing. It's a mostly harmless, hollow threat. And then the one time it follows through, it's like everyone's up in arms and furious. But I just don't think it's. I'm not saying the FBI didn't fuck up and drop the ball, but honestly, if you play that out, play the whole thing out. What do you want them to do? If that guy wants to fucking murder a bunch of kids at his school, he'll find a way to do it.
It just shows you the see something, say something doesn't always lead to anything. You know what I mean? That guy did the exact right thing, right? The YouTuber.
Totally.
Like he's
Totally.
You know, that was a pretty just vague statement. And
Yeah.
how many, honestly, people would report that? You might just go, fucking weirdo.
Yeah. And what are you going to do? Seriously. Every person listening here and every person in this room, well, E, you were the person, went to school with a fucking weirdo. We all went to school with that kid that you just go, oh, man, what's up with that dude? And what are you going to do? Call? And they're going to go, 911, what's your emergency? You go, yeah, this kid in class is weird.
Maybe we wrangle up all the weirdos.
Is that what we do?
Maybe.
Just island them? Just island all the weirdos?
That's how Australia started, isn't it? Didn't E teach us that a few weeks ago?
That-
This
no.
day in history with Big E?
Who's deciding who the weirdos are?
Me.
Because
Me.
Okay,
Me and
well,
Mike.
I think
Yeah,
I think that
that's
you
a
guys
good
are
call.
weird at times.
no.
So
No, not enough to be thrown on an island.
well,
You might make
You,
the cut.
on the
Maybe.
other hand.
He's just such a pussy. He might be okay. We might let him stay. But if he starts buying, if you even start looking at guns online, island for you.
gotcha.
He's so afraid of him. When
I
we
know
went
that's the
shooting-
problem. I don't know what to say to that because I just don't care about guns in any capacity. But
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, though. People like me.
I believe the island in Australia was where they would take people who dared to try to come in illegally to their country. As soon as they got on shore, it was like, no, hop on the boat. Here you are on your island, fuckface. You don't just come in legally to our country.
They're lawbreakers.
They must hate immigrants over there.
Yeah.
Racists. Fucking racists.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yeah.
He's back. He's back. Then we're gonna hand our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug. Doug, Doug, oh, Doug, 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 Doug. Buying or selling a home can be one of the most stressful times of a person's life. Doug Steinert at Century 21 Campbell wants to make the sale of your old home or the purchase of your dream home just as stress-free as possible. Call Douglas, 248-765-1781. Let him and the team at Century 21 Campbell make your home purchasing dreams a reality. Call 248-765-1781 and ask for fellow Detroit Cast listener Douglas Steinert.
Lastly, because we've got to call Tanith here in just a couple minutes. Dude, I was so mad at the fucking president over the weekend. Did you see his tweet flurry over the weekend?
I'm not sure. It sort of
He
just
sent out, I don't know, 15, 20 tweets.
doesn't even impact me anymore.
all weekend. Dude, it is so infuriating to see, like, he actually tweeted out, very sad the FBI missed all of the many signals sent out by the Florida school shooter. Unacceptable. They're spending too much time trying to prove Russia collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion. Get back to the basics and make us all proud. Seriously, dude? There's 35,000 FBI members.
He's something, man.
The Miami-Dade FBI branch would not be handling your Russia collusion horse shit. That's DC. What are you talking about?
He doesn't know.
Dude, every tweet he sent out about school shooters came back to him. Everything. The 13 Russians that were indicted over the weekend,
Yeah.
part of the probe, proving there's no collusion. All he should have said was that it was Hillary and the Democrats. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Can you not rise above any of this shit? Let everybody else say that. Let all your super fans say that. What are you doing?
I know. No. So the tweets are confounding many times.
Ruben Gallego, who's a Arizona congressman, he got in some shit today because when he saw Trump's tweet about very sad the FBI missed all the warnings. You are such a psychopath that you have to make even the death of 17 children about you. America will regret the day you were ever born.
Oof.
Oof, oof, oof. Wow. Yeah. Not happy. Oh, dude, he just makes it too easy for everybody. He becomes the talking point for being a shithead.
Yeah, the indictment thing was interesting, though. How both sides played it as a huge victory.
Yeah, yeah.
The Dems were out, the CNNs and so forth were out going, aha, see, it wasn't a hoax. Look at Trump said this was a hoax the whole time, and look, they're indicting 13 Russians. It's like, The other side's going, yeah, he said there was collusion. Where's the collusion? So
Yeah.
what? These are people fucking around with internet accounts.
Said
and
no
Facebook
American was
accounts.
involved.
Yeah.
Right there, his words. No American was involved.
Amazing to see the two sides
Yeah.
just continue to spin.
Dianne Feinstein, I saw her sending that horseshit message, as well as Pelosi sending that message of, you know, you said it was a hoax. It's like, no, that's not what he said was a hoax. He didn't say that Russia didn't meddle.
They
Well-
do have him on record saying that. But
Yeah, well-
obviously the main thrust of his hoax statements are that there's collusion.
Yeah, he knows that there wasn't collusion, and I'm telling you, he's so thin-skinned. We've talked about it. He's fucking irate that this Russia shit has people questioning the legitimacy
Yes.
of his win, and so he can't let that go.
He wants to be able to say
Can't.
he's the best.
The best, won in a landslide,
Yeah.
easy victory. I use the best words.
Let's call Tanith.
Let's call Tanith. Yeah, let's call her a hot chick. Dude, I can't believe she had a kid just a few months ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen her. She looks great. How do people drop kids so fast and then
She's
then
probably
like-
in shape during the pregnancy. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you stay.
Well, let's talk Olympics. You still having fun watching the Olympics?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Dude, I've really, really, really been enjoying Tanith, especially. I know what a twizzle is now.
She's good.
She's good. I didn't know what a twizzle was. I didn't realize how fucking technical all that shit was. Oh, if your elbow's at 45-degree angle, it better not be at 43 degrees. You're an asshole. You lose. And like all of that stuff. Your hands, whether they're back here or one in here, like
It's very technical.
dude. It's super technical. No one ever told me. Tanith is informing me. Let's give her a call in South Korea. She covers ice dancing for the Olympic Games.
Hello.
Hi, Tanith.
Hi.
Hey, it's Mike and Jay with the Detroit Cast. How are you?
Hey, Tanith.
I'm great. How are you? Hi, Jay.
Hey.
We're doing very good. Now, is it Tanith Belbin hyphen White? Is it Tanith White? What are we doing?
Is it Mrs. Belbin White?
So technically, I changed my middle name to Belbin, so it's not a hyphen.
Oh,
But
okay.
I just go by Tanith White.
No way.
Really? Jay and I were discussing it a little bit, and we didn't know if we were in favor of that or not, because White's a very common name. Belbin is very unique, and you've got such a high Q rating with Belbin. I hate to see you lose it completely.
That's why she did what she did. Is Chuck okay with
Let
that?
it go. Yes, definitely. But, I have such a unique first name, and I have to spell out Belbin so much that I actually was looking forward to just being able to say white, like the color, and leave it at that and not have to spell it out.
That's a great point. My last name, Walters with an O, and I have to say it I stopped doing it. They're like, I just let people write W-A. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I forget it. Whatever. Well, thank you so much, Tanith, for popping on with us today. I know how busy you are. I wanted to say congratulations first on the little man, little Charlie, born just a few months ago.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a big change, but we're so excited. It's something that we've been hoping for a long time. So life is beautiful.
Good. Well, he's got to be a future gold medalist, right? I mean, with you as mom and Charlie White as his father, he's going to be a gold medalist at some point, right?
Maybe in hockey. That's what we're pushing for.
Oh, nice.
There
We'll
you
teach
go.
him how to skate, but hopefully not in figure skating.
Yeah. Well, are you having fun so far in South Korea covering the Olympics?
Oh my gosh. I mean, anytime I have a chance to do anything with the Olympic Games is like a dream come true. I am such a sucker for the Olympics. I buy into every single inspiring story and moment from the games. It's just,
Yeah.
it's the most exciting thing in the world to me. And I am so happy that these athletes that put in, every ounce of their energy and time and make all these sacrifices get to be heroes to the public, for 2 weeks every 4 years. It's just they deserve it, and I think it's great for us all to have something positive to focus on.
So how does that work, Tana? Does your phone just like explode like a year before the Olympics when they're starting to put the teams together and who's going to do what and who's going to be involved?
No, I'm trying to remember when I found out I was covering the dance here and the roles I would have. I think it is about a year and a half ahead of time that they try to lock in all the talent. So I have plenty of time to prepare and get excited about it. And thankfully with NBC, I've had, the great opportunity to also work a bit with the summer games. So I'm looking forward to, fingers crossed, being a part of both summer and winter moving forward.
Nice. Well, you're doing a hell of a job. Is it difficult being on the media side of things, though? I mean, you've performed at the highest level on this worldwide stage not that long ago. Do you find yourself champing at the bit to get out there yourself?
No, not at all.
Yeah, been there, done that.
I loved every minute I spent with Ben Augusto, my partner, and our skating career. But, I got to finish that off on my own terms, which unfortunately a lot of athletes don't even have the opportunity to do. They're driven out with injury or any other reason. But we got to decide how we wanted to end our story on the ice. And I'm just so grateful that there is this role for me where I can still use all of this knowledge and training that I had for so many years in a new capacity that I can make another career out of.
Well, I got to tell you, Tanith, I'm really, really impressed. I think from afar, people think those are really easy jobs to do, whether it's covering something or doing a talk show or broadcasting. And if you've done it at all, you know that there's a shitload of work that goes into it. And you seem very, very natural on the microphone to me. And I feel like I've learned more about ice dancing in the last week and a half than I knew even when you were competing.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. That's really, really flattering. I mean, that's my goal. I know ice dancing in particular among all the figure skating disciplines is, it's hard to really grasp, especially if you only tune in for it every 4 years with the Olympic Games. So I'm going to try to do my best today when I start doing the commentary for the dance event to make sure that it's accessible and I can help explain it and hopefully not talk too much over the beautiful skating.
Hey, Tanith, one of the figure skating moments that caught my eye, I'll have to admit this time around, was the Yura Min, the South Korean wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, poor girl.
Have you ever had anything like that happen?
Of course.
Yeah?
I feel like we all have. I mean,
what do you do? I mean,
I haven't.
You don't bust a button on air sometimes?
No.
It just does happen. And, you try not to let it distract you. Thankfully, in her case, it could have been worse, right? And unfortunately, it is sometimes with some of these skating dresses. You have this like way too revealing moment that is going to live in infamy in Olympic photography. But, she handled it well, and hopefully the problem is solved. I watched her practice yesterday. She had the same dress on, but it seemed very secure. So,
yes, duct tape, everything.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about it after it happened, and my take was, you know what? She should have just flung the top off and just gone with it. I mean,
I'm sure.
Can you imagine?
I'm sure some people would have loved that, but no.
No, and not make it like a sexual thing, but just make it like, you know what? I'm a woman here competing, and I'm going for it. That would have been the biggest story of the games, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's really, I mean, the funny thing is that in these moments where you feel something come undone or whatever, like you can't stop, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Why
can,
not?
but
Why not though? Why you should be able to? I mean, you've worked so hard to get to this 3-minute.
It seems
thing.
so unfair that she's choosing between having this infamous moment, being exposed worldwide, and
right.
competing,
and
Well,
crashing her event. Yeah.
You can stop, right? Of course you can if you really feel like you need to, or you can.
Lose
most
points.
of the time, I think our instinct will be to fix it on the fly. So, try to reach back and put it on. But you can feel if it's a situation where, okay, this is going to, this costume is going to fall off at any moment. I need to stop, or it's going to stay on. It's just going to flop around a bit. I can keep going. So you have a sense for that. But I should say you can stop, but there are deductions, that you would take if you have to interrupt the program, and you don't want to interrupt your performance if you don't have to. So it's just a funny thing, Hopefully we don't have any of that distracting us from the great skating tonight.
Well, I was reading an article before we called you and it was like the 30 most revealing and shocking costumes in skating history. You were on there like 3 times.
Nice,
Tanith. Congratulations!
I know.
It was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Didn't your mom do your costumes or something like that? Wasn't there a story?
Yeah, My mom made almost all of my costumes except for those ones that are in that article.
Mrs. Belbin, you minx.
Yeah, I know, right? No, she probably wouldn't be comfortable with that. But when it's funny, you're right, because the short dance, which is the event that's going on today, they all have the same rhythm, right? So every year the short dance is prescribed a certain rhythm. This year it's Latin. So, that lends itself to more revealing costumes. But back in 2006, when I made that list, like all of my costumes were from that year. It was from the Latin year, and everyone was wearing such revealing costumes that they actually changed the rules after that year. So I feel like it's my claim to fame is that I was part of the revolution of forcing skaters to be the rule is at least 50% covered.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you have like a fully open back to your dress, you can't also have like a cutout on your midriff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hey, how important is, because it seems like to me it's very important, how important is stuff like the costume and the music that you guys choose?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, choosing the right, especially in an Olympic year, choosing the right vehicle and the right program for yourself to kind of display all of your strengths on the most important stage is probably about, I'd say, like 60% of your success in an Olympic year. But you just, you have to consider by the time you approach an Olympic Games, what style has really suited us the best over the last 4 years? Which one did we get the best response from? And you oftentimes just kind of go back to that style. So if you're a more classical teen, you'll choose more classical music, but you just want the whole package to fit together. So you don't want to be distracting anyone while you're skating from what you're putting out on the ice. So, you don't want someone to think like, this music kind of sucks, in the middle of your program, because then they're not paying attention to what you're doing. They're distracted by, your costume's too bright or, things just don't fit together correctly. So it's a delicate balance, but it is all really important.
Tanith, one thing that's hit me about this sport, and I respect it tremendously, but this moment where after you've done your program, the camera's in your face, and you're being handed teddy bears and shit. That's always been like so awkward to me. Like, what are you feeling as people are giving you stuffed animals? Are you thinking like, what do I do with this? What little kid do I give this to?
I've never heard of anyone thinking that was awkward.
You don't think that's weird? Well, you've had it all your life.
Throwing gifts and toys on the ice is all, it's quintessential figure skating thing that happens
guess.
all around
Flowers.
the world. So.
I remember flowers when I was young.
Okay, so here's the thing with flowers, and actually you're not really allowed to throw them anymore unless they're like completely wrapped up. What happened was people would throw things on the ice and then a petal would fall off or, a stem, and so it was getting on the ice and being a problem. So now things have to just be either stuffed animals or contained in a plastic bag. But no, it's absolutely incredible that figure skating has such a great fan base around the world. The fact that we can get out there and do what we love to do and then get this like immediate reaction, instant satisfaction of having the crowd react to you and give you gifts. I mean, what a great gift for us to be able to know that we are bringing them like joy and satisfaction. I mean, that's the whole
I didn't
point,
mean any disrespect by it. I just think it's an interesting thing that happens. I always wondered, like, do they take like a shovel out there and find like
the octopus?
And find like a roadside memorial to donate it to or something.
I was going to say just to maybe make you feel worse about it, they do donate all of those teddy bears to charities.
Oh, nice, Jay.
A lot of the American figure skaters go to Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, nice. See, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It is a really great thing.
Should feel bad now, Jay.
I do.
Hey, Tanith, I wonder, as an Olympic silver medalist like yourself and your husband's a gold medalist, these athletes, I'm wondering how much the nerves are different and the pressure when it's at the Olympics. Like, I understand that, nationals and world competitions and those are stressful, but they're not viewed by the whole world. I imagine, like, what's it like when you step onto the ice and you see those Olympic rings? Is it just a totally different feeling?
I mean, you nailed it on the head. It's completely different, and unfortunately for first-time Olympians, there's nothing else that can prepare you for that moment. So, the World Championships is pretty much as close as you can get, and that's nothing like the Olympic Games. I mean, nothing else feels like that moment. So the pressure is pretty unbelievable. You're very aware of how much attention you're getting in that moment, how many eyes are on you, but more importantly, it's just you're standing there waiting for your music to begin, and your mind can race about how many people went into getting you to this moment, and that you're carrying their their hopes and dreams as well. And you so want to make it worth it for everyone that helped you get there. And that's just a lot of pressure when ultimately the only way you can skate your best is if you can sort of put that aside and engage the left side of your brain and actually focus on, your muscle memory and what you did in training. So that emotional aspect of it is what gives us those thrilling moments of victory. And as they say, the agony of defeat. I mean, it's really, really hard to contain.
Do you think the pressure for you and Ben, because ice dancing for Team USA wasn't on the map. I mean, it was literally you and Ben that put it back on the map and brought it to relevancy where we're seeing it now. Did you feel extra pressure because of that, or was it like a little less pressure because no one was expecting you guys to do anything?
Yeah, it's definitely the latter.
Yeah.
In our first Olympic Games where we won the silver, we went in with nobody thinking that, including ourselves, that we could win a medal, let alone silver. We thought like at best we would probably finish fourth, maybe fifth, based on previous results. But yeah, so I think we really benefited from being able to fly under the radar in that sense. And all of our attention after the fact from the media and everything, it came because of the medal and the history of it. So it's not like we had to deal with that going in to any great degree.
Hey, Tanith, a lot of people of my generation, when figure skating comes around again for the Olympics, we immediately think Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan, and that story's been resurrected again this year because of the movie I, Tanya. I wonder if I know you were young at the time, but I wonder what you think of that whole episode.
Well, yeah, I certainly don't have any memory of that happening, when I was just a kid. I don't really
Have you ever met
think
with
I can
either
grab
of them?
it. But yeah, I've met Nancy a lot. I've never met Tanya, but I've performed with Nancy a number of times. Although it's not like it's something that you really bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So what was that like?
I would. Remember the time you got whacked in the knee?
But no, I mean, the truth is, and the story circulates in the figure skating world just normally as a mention of that was really what made American figure skating so popular.
Yeah.
For better or worse, that was what brought the pinnacle of attention to our sport. And, you don't ever want to... Sorry?
I said it was necessary then.
Well, no, I would not say
It was
that.
a good thing. It was a really good thing.
I'm just kidding.
But it was just, it's incredible. And they mentioned it in the movie. And Tanya, Tanya was, as popular as anyone else in the whole country at that time. I mean, just the level of fame that whole thing reached was so beyond figure skating that, it really, for a lot of skaters around that era, it catapulted their careers, into the stratosphere, just because people were so interested in watching the skating stories and wondering if there would be more drama like that to come in the future. So I don't wish for that to be the case, but it's just it's a bit funny that was really the height of figure skating in terms of popularity was really more so than anything else a reaction to that incident with Tanya and Nancy.
I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if you can be honest with me about this, but it's one thing when a snowboarder goes out and he bites it and he's got no one to blame, but when you're a team out on the ice and Ben flings you in the air and you wipe out, or if he goes to do something and he missteps and wipes out on the ice, is that something where you guys as teammates would ever look at the other and just feel like, you son of a bitch, how dare you, Ben? How did you fall there? We've worked 4 years for this.
You know what? I think that doesn't happen as often as you would imagine it does, only because in those 4 years and every time you're on competition, more often than not, like it's 50-50 who's made the mistake. You know? I mean, of course it stinks for both of you when it happens on the world's biggest stage, but leading up, any given day, it could be me or it could be him. So, and it certainly doesn't help your partner, in the next round of competition to give them a hard time about it. You want to just move past that so that you can both give your best performance the next time around. And the best thing to do in that case is remain supportive so that, they don't beat themselves up, because having been in that position just as often as they have, how awful it feels. And the last thing that you want to do is make them feel any worse about that. So I think it's just, you can so immediately put yourself in their shoes that it would be the most hypocritical response ever to condone, to come down on them for that.
Hey, Tanith, I wanted to ask you real quick what you're doing next. I heard that you're calling sled hockey for the upcoming Paralympics.
Yes.
That's a whole different type of commentary when you're talking about a team sport like that. I mean, how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, so I'm going to be the sideline reporter. So most of my work, I won't be doing the play-by-play, thankfully for sled hockey fans, because I won't know very much of what I'm talking about. My focus will be just on relaying these incredible stories of these athletes, to the American public on NBC. So that's a pretty amazing job because, it's also really inspiring for me to be able to sit down with these athletes and hear how far they came and the journey that took them to this moment. So it's going to be really fun. I have heard from everyone that I've told that I'm doing sled hockey with, they're telling me it's the absolute best Paralympic sport to be assigned to.
Really?
Yeah, it looks cool.
That the American team are just the best group of guys, and I can't wait to be able to help tell their stories.
Yeah, there's going to be
that's the next thing for me.
no shortage of dramatic, inspiring stories from that group, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanith,
Absolutely.
I know we've kept you long. I just want really quick, if you got to go, just tell me. But I wondered if you're just really quick, if you're able to take in other events when you're there covering something like today. Are you able to go over to the bobsled or the skeleton run and check things out?
So the layout of, and this happens a lot of the times at the Olympic Games, they have what here we call a coastal cluster and a mountain cluster. So the mountain sports, like all the skiing and snowboarding and everything, is actually about like an hour away from where we are down where the curling and hockey and figure skating is. So it's pretty hard to get up there with the limited time that we have. Normally when I was competing, I was able to, once I was finished competing, go and watch hockey and watch curling, and I loved that. But while I'm working, there honestly isn't a spare minute. So it's too bad. I actually was a sideline reporter for curling for the last 2 years, and I fell in love with it. So I would love to get over there for curling. Yeah. But not a chance this time around.
The other weird story in this Olympics is North Korea. And I'm wondering, like, I was worried for some of these athletes, like, are they going to have contact with the outside world? Are you able to run into any North Korean athletes who, as far as we know, don't really have contact with the outside world? It's kind of a shock that they were even participating. But I don't know how that works. I understand there's not an Olympic Village this year, so I don't know if you have any contact with them. If so, I'm just wondering what that's like.
Well, I haven't personally had any contact with any of the North Korean athletes, but there is a pairs figure skating team that competed a few days ago in figure skating, and they actually spend part of their year training in Montreal. So,
wow.
It's not like this is their first time outside of North Korea, but I know there's a lot of curiosity surrounding North Korea's participation, but so far, honestly, there has been such a big push around the Olympic Games here locally about just sending the message of peace and unity, which is really, really comforting, and it's a wonderful time for that message to be spread. And I think the athletes from all over the world are truly trying to embrace that and embody it as much as possible and use these Olympic Games as an opportunity to remind everyone that that is the ultimate goal.
Right.
Hey, Mike mentioned a second ago the Olympic Village. We've all heard stories about the partying and the hookups that go on there. Not saying that you did any of that stuff, but did you see people around you just going nuts during your Olympics?
I never did, because typically you're housed with your teammates from your sport, right? So I'm in a building sharing a suite with other figure skaters who are still competing. So we, maybe it's possible, one house over, if like curling's done, they're having a couple beers. Yeah. But
couple.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that anytime I've been at the Olympic Games, the Village is an alcohol-free zone. So I have never seen any of that.
Well, there's always the stories about the number of condoms that are distributed and all that stuff. So they always make it sound like it's like this
there's
debauchery.
Just bowls of it at every entrance.
All these hot athletes just going after each other.
Yeah, no, I think, you know what, you guys are just falling to the headlines. It's just something more to write about, and if there's nothing to talk about in that way around here.
Well, I know you famously I think you roomed for a while at least with Johnny Weir. If you see him, what's going on with that bouffant hairdo? I need to know what he's doing with that hair right now.
What would you like to know specifically?
How's it work?
How's that work? It's kind of Trumpian, like I just want to know what he's doing.
Johnny's hairstylist is a true artist. She is incredible, and she can create these actual masterpieces on his head. I think part of the whole mystique of it is that none of us know exactly how it's constructed, but it's a thing of beauty in the end. And I know they have a lot of fun being able to have that, unique expression every night on air.
Yeah.
And I think, that the public loves tuning in to see it. And I think it's a lot of fun, and why not?
Yeah, and he's great too. He adds a lot to the commentary. I really think so. So that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Tanith, we've kept you so long. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks so much.
I know you're very busy and working your butt off over there. Keep doing what you're doing. 5-time U.S. champ, silver medalist at the 06 Winter Games in Turin, Italy. Good luck with the Paralympics. Good luck with the rest of the broadcast this year. And let's hook up when you get back into town.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, guys.
All right,
care,
Tanith,
Tanith.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. Detroitcast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Alrighty. Welcome back to the Detroitcast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. Mike and Jay. Hey, have we reached the point in the gay world where we don't need to celebrate every single?
Coming out.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Like, I'm looking through just upstairs during the break, I was looking at the paper, and it's like there is so much coverage for this guy that, like, I don't know, won a ski thing or something and then, like, kissed his boyfriend at the bottom of the hill. And the story is really that nobody gave a shit. Like, yeah, well. And then, who's the skater? Adam.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He's the darling of the Olympics now.
It's like, guess what, everyone? I'm gay.
He is like...
It's wearing like frills off his wrists. And
not since Johnny Weir not since Liberace has someone been so obviously
overtly
gay. I mean, you can't be giving an interview in skin-tight clothes with hair like that, talking as gay as this.
Hey, man, you can't remember Chaz Michaels. You can't judge a book by its cover, man.
Sure. But the frilliness of the outfit, the bedazzledness
Jimmy
of
McElroy.
the outfit. And it's just like, it's like the interviewer's like, I mean, it should be noted that, what a brave decision it was for you to come out a year ago as a gay man. And it's like, yeah, okay. And it's like, hire him.
No, the story would have been
NBC has hired him.
The story would have been if he was hetero.
Yes.
Oh, wait, what?
I think it's insulting to gay people when every time it's like, oh, yes, that man is brave. It's like,
Yeah, I wonder how most gay people think about that, because I'm sure they believe there's still a lot of hurdles and there's still a lot of discrimination. So it's
Maybe.
probably mostly celebrated when someone does that. Like, all right, good for him.
I couldn't give a shit less. It's like, yeah, dude, do you. It affects me none. It means nothing to me. You're gay, great, good for you. And I know there's a lot of people that don't feel that way, but I feel
that's
like
the point.
But I feel like we've done this trip enough that it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It seems like we're held back because of trying to force this special moment on people.
You know what we haven't done enough, Mike?
What's that?
We haven't told everyone about Wasik Insurance.
Please.
Insurance, we all need it.
Tell me more.
Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all that shit. Brent has over 29 years in the business. He offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasik at 734-455-1900. Get a free, no obligation quote today. Again, 734-455-1900.
Were you a fan of Eric Bolling? Is it Bowling or Bowling?
I think it's bowling. No.
Fox News host.
No, I mean, he was fine, I guess.
Yeah, he's one that kind of irritated me. He's kind of like Sean Hannity, where it's
Super shill.
Yeah, just like super shill. Good way to put it. He's he was the one that was sending dick pics to like 3 coworkers, female, and was terminated. His kid died of an overdose the next day.
Yeah.
And he's announced that he's been working with President Trump to help the battle of opiate addiction. Now, he did an op-ed for CNN about his son's overdose in September, and he revealed there were warning signs that he and his wife Adrienne had missed. Like many parents, we worried about the possibility he was getting involved with harder drugs, but we never expected this would happen to him. We were guilty of the not our kid syndrome. He said the weeks before he died, he got more distant and would skip his summer classes, wasn't interested in talking to his parents. He and his wife noticed these changes, and now we wish we'd done more to address it. I think a lot of parents could say the same thing. He was a really good student, social kid, liked to go to parties, joined a fraternity over the year or so since he was in Colorado. Adrienne and I had discussed drug abuse with Eric Chase. Why do they keep calling him by his full name? That creeps me out.
I thought we resolved it's his middle name, and they're trying to distinguish between Eric Bowling, right?
Oh, is that what it was? Did you figure that out?
I
don't remember figuring that out. No. I didn't even work on that math equation.
I guess they could have gone Junior, Eric Jr.
Yeah, I don't know. Anytime someone calls their dad by their first name, it creeps me out. Anytime, but reading this, it's like, you wrote this, and you wrote Eric Chase, but middle name would make sense. Anyway, so he's teamed up with Trump to tackle the epidemic, and my first thought, it's terrible. It's just terrible. It's terrible. What do you think my first thought was? What would be an awful thought for me to have?
Probably pretty cynical, like, yeah, good luck, assholes.
No, it was worse than that. It was, Yeah, I prefer someone whose kid didn't die from.
Gotcha. I think
You
Trump
know what
would
I mean?
too, right?
I like winners. I like kids who didn't die. I want their parents on my team. No, it's terrible. So, for the past few months, I've been working with Trump and handling the House Opioid Awareness Initiative. I think we're all aware. I don't know what the House Awareness Initiative means.
Boy, the
but-
awareness has really skyrocketed over the last couple, probably 18 months, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Before that, it was like, yeah, okay, painkillers and stuff, but dude, it is everywhere now. Like,
Yeah, that's probably a good.
you see the word opioid everywhere, and every time I see it, I go, when did this become opioid
Yeah,
from
it's
opiates?
opiate. It's opiate. Why? It's like
It
ISIS.
was like
when it
one
went
day,
to-
it was like a light switch, just
Yeah.
boom.
It's like the guy that went, no, it's Daesh, and is trying to fucking. It's like, no, dickhead. But we just went, no. We've been force-fed ISIS. We're not going Daesh. I don't care what you say.
Are we rejecting opioid at this
Well,
point?
people don't seem to be that troubled by it, but you're not the first person I've heard say, yeah,
weird.
dude, opiate. What happened? Was opiate not cool enough?
We all grew up on opiates.
We did some research. We did some polling, and we found that
Yeah.
opioids sticks in the ear better, and so we're going with opioids.
It's almost, I wouldn't doubt if that was it, man. It was such a weird light switch that went off.
and it wasn't even addressed. It was
No.
just like all of a sudden experts started addressing it as the opioids crisis. And so he praised that his voice helps parents realize the importance of getting involved in kids' social activities. You see, opioids are the unbiased killer of our most precious commodity, and then they have to list all the potential people because it's unbiased. It really doesn't care. You know what I mean? It doesn't attack you more
No.
because you're black.
No.
You know what I mean? So he's got to run down the list. It attacks our children. It kills athletes, straight A students, whites, Hispanics, black, rich, poor, gay, straight, girls, boys.
Was he trying to meet a word threshold or something?
Maybe. I really, 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 really want to work on Trump's opioid team.
And there's my 300-word essay.
You said 300 words. There it is. Really? Did you have to go poor, gay, straight, girls, boys? We get it. Got it. I use the best words. You use the dumbest.
You could have just said bigly.
So he was fired in September, like I said, one day before his son's death over those damn allegations of sending dick pics to
Damn
coworkers.
dick pics.
Yeah, he and his wife had gone to dinner to mark the new chapter in their life, the post dick pics chapter in their life. Could you imagine? Gab, we're going to dinner to celebrate tonight. What are we celebrating? Well, I was fired yesterday for sending dick pics to coworkers. It's a new beginning for us. Let's go celebrate. And so they did. Imagine that, dude. Though, on your way home, like some like stoner dude from University of Colorado called, like, "Hey, brah,
Is this Mr. Bowling?
Mr. Bowling? Yeah, like Eric Chase is like dead and stuff.
He's cold. I
Yeah.
touched him. He's cold.
Pretty sure it's opioids, brah. Pretty sure." And so, yeah, terrible story. Although
What?
the accompanying pictures that I saw with the story,
They didn't show us dick pics, did they?
No, they didn't show us dick pics. No, it's like he's with his son in their home. You know, he's got some killer ass mansion in Florida, wherever he lives, and it's like, you know, they each got a glass of wine.
Looking sweet.
They both got fucking designer jeans on, man.
Yeah, he's
They're
got
both-
definitely a douchey look to
There's
him.
tan to the over tan.
Yeah.
It's middle of winter, dude. You should not have a tan like that in February. And the top 2-3 buttons are undone, like
Dude,
that.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
do you know that guy?
Yeah,
Have you ever met that guy, Jay?
I've met him in Birmingham several times.
And so I'm looking at this, and I'm just like,
I've
yeah.
met him sitting courtside at Pistons games.
I don't know why. I don't want that kid, that guy.
The kid
like,
looks cool. The kid looks cool enough, but yeah, the dad,
he's dressed like a kid should be, but the dad, like, I don't know. I don't know what he should be in, a sweatshirt and jeans. Like, I don't know, but there's something about it's like, yeah, I got my cool necklace on. Me and my boy.
yeah.
I don't know. And is that one of those fucking shirts? Did he buy an
Untuck It?
Does he? Does it looks like a potential Untuck It?
It definitely does. Looks about a quarter inch shorter than a normal shirt.
It sure does.
My more bigger question is that I know this one here he got a tie, but if he's not wearing a tie, is his shirt ever buttoned?
His look. Honestly, I'm surprised you found him with a tie. His look for a long time was the suit coat with the open collar.
Yeah.
Real straight collar. You know, I mean, he had those collar stays just working overtime.
Yeah.
And that was kind of his look, the open shirt.
I don't mean to. That's terrible. I can't even imagine as a parent losing a kid like that. Something so awful. I don't mean to say he's a bad parent, but it's just like, oh,
Or that wears dumb clothes.
yeah, it's just like, no, my dad wouldn't wear that. He just wouldn't. No, like just like my dad. My dad's right. You know,
I mean, you could be accused of dressing, a generation younger than what you are.
I just wear comfort. It's straight comfort.
Yeah.
That is $800 in a shirt.
Yeah,
and
you're
jeans.
right. You're right.
You know what I mean? I'm not wearing $800
You didn't even
in
count
anything.
the shoes. The footwear was
Oh,
remarkable too.
and I guarantee you, it could have been $3,000 snakeskin. I don't know. Would you doubt it?
I would not.
I don't even want to get into whatever that bone necklace thing was that was going on there. I don't
Look
even.
tribal.
It did. Thick and tribal. The way it was open, the shirt was open. It was like, I dare you not to ask me
Yeah.
about the necklace.
The bone.
Try.
The bone.
Try not to ask me about the necklace. I dare you.
Segues from that bone to the other bone.
Hell yeah. So you crushing some puss out in Denver, bruh? Sure am, Dad. Me too, back here. I'm crushing your mom every night, bruh. All right, cool, bruh. Fist bump your dad.
Hey, Hamlin Pubs is inviting you to their 5 Metro Detroit locations. Come enjoy Hamlin Pub's great food, drinks, and their atmosphere. Whether you're watching the game with your buddies, out for a meal with the family, or out for an evening with your girl, it's always a great time at their Rochester, Clarkston, Chesterfield, and 2 Shelby Township locations.
Oh, man. Speaking of overdoses, sad story, Delvin Heckard, he is the first guy that came out and said, yeah, Seattle's mayor raped me when I was like
Right.
15. The kid, Delvin, and he's like 50 now, but Delvin Heckard, first of 5 men to accuse Ed Henry of sex abuse, found dead in a hotel room.
Now I got
Yeah, he turned 47 on Valentine's Day. 2 months ago, he won $150,000 in a settlement, taxpayer-funded settlement, after his lawsuit in April against Murray prompted 4 other people to come forward. And so, yeah, it ended up that Murray, the Democrat, Ed Murray, resigned as Seattle's mayor in September, not because of the 5 of them that came forward, but only after his own family, his own cousin, publicly accused him of child abuse. And what is so disturbing about this story is that's horrific. But the fact is, he's a Democratic mayor in Seattle, and that story was buried.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You just don't hear that story
We
very
talked
much.
a little bit about it.
Little bit. It was not in many papers. It certainly wasn't on your evening news. Maybe Fox covered it a little bit. Nobody else touched this fucking story, which is weird. These were inner city black kids who were addicted to crack at 13 years old. As desperate a situation you can get.
And he was just moving them in and out,
He was going in
using
there
them for holes.
and butt fucking them and then paying them in crack, just feeding their habit, stringing them along, and screwed these kids'
Sprinkling
lives.
a little bit of crack on them.
Yeah, a little bit of crack here, a little bit of crack there, paying them just a little bit of money here and there, just to butt fuck them. Just horrible story. So he ends up, so he settled this lawsuit. The city of Seattle did, and he recently received a $100,000 payment from the $150,000 settlement. Now, explain how this happens, Jay.
Smoked all 100 grand of it.
No. His lawyer was like, I put it in a trust so he can only get a little bit at a time, But so he's butt fucked for all these years. Horrible situation. Publicly put his face on it. Said, I want people to see my face and name and recognize me as a human being. I'm publicly putting myself out there so people can believe me as a human being that this monster did this to me at this time in my life.
For that, he gets the grand award of $150,000.
$150,000. However, I'm gonna put $100 grand in a safe for you, and it'll give you $1 a day. All right,
Dude.
the parties agreed. Well, I don't know how much Delvin agreed, but the parties agreed that the other $50,000 would go to Survivor Resources, $25 grand to the King County Sexual Assault Resource Center, $12,500 to the Harborview Sex Assault and Trauma Unit,
Maybe he's a generous dude.
and $12,500 to the Silent Task Force.
No.
Dude, he gets 150 grand, and you take 50 off the top. Like, yeah, they called for this, Delvin. I hope you're cool with this, unless you're a dick. And I think this is good. We're going to take 50 grand off the top, and we're just going to give it to a bunch of these.
God, because of this
Shelters.
deviant mayor goes off the rails. Like, yeah, it's extraordinary.
Yeah, his quote, by the way, and he personally declined anonymity. He said, once people hear me talk, they'll be able to feel my spirit, and they'll have no doubts that what I'm saying is true. And that encouraged those other 4 people to come forward.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an anonymous thing. And then it was on September 12th that his cousin, Joseph Dyer, gave an interview and said Murray had molested him for over a year when he was 13. Murray resigned the next day. I'm innocent, but fuck this shit.
That's really astounding.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off now. See ya.
He needs to be better trained.
Yeah.
Mike, if you don't own a truck, winter
don't.
sucks balls.
It does.
Who can help? Our friends at Zotford and
I
Holly.
was gonna
That's who.
say that.
Beat the winter blues by leasing a brand new loaded 18 Ford F-150 Super Cab 4x4 as low as $131 a month. This isn't a base model bullshit truck. This is a Ford F-150 4-wheel drive with all the toys, and it's only $131 a month.
Is that yours? Is that what you have?
I've got the
It's awesome.
the F-150 Super Cab, 4x4.
yeah.
It's badass. I
like
love it. I honestly, like, the winter would be so different without
Yeah.
that truck.
Oh.
See details and their massive inventory at dealsinthed.com.
How we doing for email? There's a couple other things we wanted to talk about, but we can hold off till tomorrow. I understand E had a nice weekend.
You had a
E-
venture?
Yeah, went on a venture. Why don't we get into that tomorrow? We just don't have time right now. And I think you've got a grievance as well. Am I right?
That is both those are correct.
Oh, I had another great thing happen over the weekend. While I was gone, Gab stayed home, cleaned out the entire closet. Dude.
What?
We could fit a full mattress in there. We could put a nightstand.
Did she do that on purpose? Was it strictly about giving you guys a little more leg room in there?
A little bit of
more,
both.
A little more hip room?
Yeah, it was both purging and, let's clear this out a little bit. It's nice, man.
Yeah? Have you sampled it yet?
We sampled it today. It was
Excellent.
like
Good for
rolling
you.
around everywhere. It's
Good for you. A little too much room?
It almost was, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt a little cavernous.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this in the mail, and this is an interesting thing that happened last week. I'd never had this happen before, but I go into Franklin Post Office, Mayberry, essentially. You've said it many times. Post office typically sucks, but there's one guy there, this one cool black dude.
Chris?
Chris, okay.
Love Chris.
He's the only guy who has a sense of urgency, who has professionalism. He gets it. He's
Yeah.
trying to move people through. Everybody else is just friggin' retarded.
But
I'm
he's not
sorry.
a dick about it.
He's not a dick at all.
Awesome. He's
Yeah.
very friendly and cordial.
Very nice guy. So when something can't fit in your P.O. box, they put a little slip in there, and then you have to go around to the little thing and
To
talk
the
to
desk.
Chris or
Yeah,
whoever's
yeah.
there. Thankfully, Chris is there. Nobody else is in line, amazingly. Hey, Chris, can I get this? Yeah, okay. He goes back and gets it. He goes, yeah, you guys owe $2.50 on that, $2.50. I'm like, what? Somebody, like, sent this collect?
Yeah.
Like COD or something? He's like, it's weird. He's like, there wasn't enough postage on it, so you still owe $2.50. How does that happen? I thought he just went back to the sender. If
Of
there's
course,
not, right?
return to sender. Chris isn't trying to milk you out of $2.50. Was he short on lunch today?
I didn't see him put it in the register, come to think of it.
You paid him?
I did pay him. Now, here's the thing. This is the
You
great thing
wanted
about
to know.
Chris. This is the great thing about, like, he handed you an envelope, right? And he
Yeah.
goes, you want to pay the $2.50? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is clearly from a listener. I mean, this could be like white powder. I
Yeah,
have no idea.
for
He's like,
sure.
seriously? I'm like, dude, we get some crazy shit. He's like, you want to just open it and you can decide? So I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Wow.
I know.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
know that was a
I
possibility.
know. So
That's
I
amazing.
ripped it open and
Hell
I
yeah.
opened it up, and before me is a Perot for President bumper sticker,
Worth
vintage.
$2.50.
I was like,
Worth $2.50.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I did want to point out, BJ, don't be
Oh,
sending
BJ.
us shit in the mail that we have to pay for.
And
Okay?
why would he set
It's very
precedent
presumptuous?
and give other people the idea that it's even possible?
I had no idea it's possible. I think he got lucky, honestly, that they were
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll see if these guys will pay it.
Dude, usually it's COD and you have to sign for it, right? And pay.
Yeah.
It's like a collect call. How dare you? Fuck you.
Dare you, BJ?
How dare you call me collect? No, sir.
It was equipped with this short note. At some point, it was mentioned on the show that one of the bumper stickers had fallen off of E's car skank. What did we
True.
have? We had Rat.
We
Rat
had-
fell off. Huey Lewis in the News is still on there.
Huey lives. Rat
Yeah.
fell off. Yeah.
I've been looking for a good replacement during my travels. I found what I think is the perfect normcore political bumper sticker at an antique store somewhere in western Tennessee. Now he can confuse the shit out of those woke millennial chicks he hits on. Now this is beautiful. This is not going on E's car.
Yeah, I was
This
gonna
is-
say,
this
that's
is going to be
too-
posted here in the studio somewhere.
Can't they send us a "I'm with her" sticker or something? We could put a bunch of those all over his cars, all over his car.
Hey,
That'd be
on to-
better than Perot.
Onto email per se. Email us at email@detroitcast.com, by the way.
Yeah.
And we will try to read all of them at least and see what you have to say. Keith writes in concerning Amtrak to Chicago. You'll recall I told my story of being in law school, studying, going out to
Sure.
see Gab in Chicago, and then partying my ass off with a couple bros who just,
You planned to study the whole 5-hour train trip so that you could just get it on
Yes.
when you got there. and instead you got wasted with a bunch of bros on accident.
Couple dudes. Yeah, his old lady left him, so we're going out to Chicago.
Oh, partying, man.
Hell yeah.
And you're like, I guess I could have one. But then, guys, I got to dive into these books.
Yeah.
Big test on Monday.
Well, Keith had a similar experience. Can't see dick, big old dick, sucks on dicks. Riding down to Chicago on the Amtrak, and I stumbled into Bizarro World. 7 of us were heading down for a bachelor party and naturally enjoying the bar cart when we initiated conversation with a young gentleman deep in study. Turns out he, like the king, was studying for the LSAT, and we naturally tried to distract him with booze and debauchery. Turned out he was much less of a gamer than Big Dick Jay, and he decided to study rather than hang out. God damn it, man!
Wow.
That's, man. Oh, well, his loss, says Keith. Wish it had been you guys instead so I could have bought Mike and Jay a beer. Hope all is well. Good day, I said good day.
Dude, those are fun. The impromptu party that breaks out on
Yeah.
like I've told you about Derek and I. We did that going to San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was one of those where I don't even know why, because usually this is at the front of the plane where you see it, where you got row of 3 facing this way, and then a row of 3 in front of them facing them.
Yeah.
You know,
Sort of like a train car.
right. The back of our plane was like that, and so we had 3 this way and 3 facing
They
us.
weren't jump seats. They were actual seats.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden we've got a party of 6, and Derek and I probably got on the plane 4 deep, and then it was just we were relentless, dude. Relentless. We had this little Asian guy next to us. Turns out he was like a mogul, owned a bunch of fucking hotels and shit.
Yeah.
And it was just like, bro, you're drinking with us, man.
You didn't get his card?
And he was like, very good, let's go. And dude, it was we must have crushed 2 cases on a 4-hour flight to San Diego.
Did you get cut off by the air waitress?
We were just happy drunks. She kept
That's
having
good.
to come back and be
Yeah.
like, guys, and it was like, woo, woo, nurse, dead soldier. We'd have an empty can, and she'd come collect all our dead soldiers, and it was just like, keep them coming, I mean, she's like, guys, we're pulling in final descent into San Diego.
Yeah.
We must have. I mean, they must have poured us. I don't even remember getting off the plane. Oof. Oh, it was awesome though. Awesome.
Derek writes in, congratulations to all involved in the cult that is the Detroit Cast. I've listened to every word of every episode, including all sponsor messages. Good boy, Derek.
Nice.
I would be honored with an OUR if you would pluck a couple of gems from the Erictionary and just reflect on all that is Big E. So this is the guy who put together that Erictionary of dumb E-isms.
Oh yeah.
And it's
That
sort
was
of been
early on. Yeah.
He's been compiling it, and I did pull it up. There are a few that are pretty recent, which I'll get to in a moment. As a big fan of Eric's, says Derek, I must say that I don't think he's actually stupid. Wait, hear me out.
Yeah.
I think he's just so immensely lazy that he doesn't feel like putting in the effort to speak properly or spell or shower or wipe his dumb ass. It is, however, most convenient when describing his nonsense to refer to him as a, quote, dumb fuck or whatever. Your friendly neighbor to the north, Derek. Derek, I think he's, I mean, there's a laziness involved there, but
Well,
he's,
sure.
He's a dumbass.
I mean, I'm lazy, but I can still say put.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not seeing the connection. I think E is absolutely content with just being thought of as a tard, anyways.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
He's accepted it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Kind of smooths some things for him.
Yeah.
It's a slow Donnie situation. He can
Sure.
float through life a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think there's an aspect of that laziness falling in, but no, he's legit dumb, and this proves it.
E, floor yours. Any comment?
I don't have a comment to that, I guess. I don't know.
Well, he joins us second half of the show.
I do know that when it comes to saying put, that is, I guess, I think probably, actually, that is laziness. I think he is right on that. Because it's just not opening my mouth enough or something. Like, no, that's what I've been told. I think I don't open my mouth enough when I talk.
It's just, no, that's just not the case. It's like when he tried to say that, I stubbed my toe, and so now all 10 of them
now
look
they're
like
gangrenous.
like wizard's toes.
Stubbed them.
Yeah.
Liar.
I stubbed it really hard. All right, even if we give you stubbed the left big toe really hard, how does that
That
account
does
for
make
the
sense.
right
No,
foot?
that does make sense because the
No, that doesn't account for the right foot.
foot fungus. Yeah, but if I would have been, I wouldn't have been changing socks every day.
Sometimes he puts
back
his
then,
right shoe on
and
his left foot, that sort of thing. They're interchangeable, righty? I mean,
I wouldn't have been changing socks every day, and I wouldn't have been washing every day and stuff. So I probably would have transferred the fungus over. I'm sure.
so here's a couple of entries from the Erictionary.
Fair enough.
Futurely. You remember this one?
Oh, yeah,
In
probably.
the future. In this building, futurely the White House. I do remember him specifically
Dude,
saying that.
if these are part of the list,
This is from Biggie's Day in History, number 943, episode number 943. In episode number 956, he said, dyslexic, E's reason for having trouble reading. I think I'm dyslexic or
Yeah,
something.
I
Other
remember
people
that.
have this difficulty, but it is from dyslexia.
Yeah.
Notes Derek. Also from 9.99, you can't forget
dude,
this
one of my favorites.
Valentine's Day. Yes,
Oh, no.
folks, he's almost 40 and still says it like this. He probably eats Puschetti for dinner on this day.
He had another one that day that was spectacular, or the day before when he did this day in history.
Leukemia.
Oh, God. The
Lock Me Up
leukemia.
or something like Lock Me Up.
I can't even remember what it was. It was so ridiculous.
Awesome.
Yeah, Derek's done yeoman's work, or in our case, yo people's work.
Well, it's like
with the
learning a new language for
dictionary.
us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel, like I understand what he's saying.
If you're around him
Get
enough,
it.
yeah.
You know.
JPC Fourth writes in concerning members content. Hey Jay, I just started listening to a recent members post, and Walters claimed that he's been there for all 1,000 episodes. I do believe I recalled the recluse actually going on vacation with Beth.
Yeah.
I think it was the vacation where he bitched and whined about Beth making him go hiking and some shit like that. Regardless, I know there was an episode that included only you and Etard. You guys were
There's been a
bored,
few.
so you decided to turn the mics on. Anyway, Walters is mistaken. Technically, none of you were there to do it live for all 1,000 episodes.
Great point. That's a great point. I've
Well, the
probably
show's
missed-
been here, okay?
Yeah, we get credit for it. Our names are on it. I've probably missed 10 shows, 12 shows, maybe.
I probably missed 74. Yeah, many people have aptly pointed out. Yeah, Jay, tell us when you get to 1,074, okay?
Yeah. Ugh. By the way, can we take a quick second to thank once again Joel?
Oh, yeah.
For his help
yeah.
with that, man. That was a task.
It's yo people's work.
Yeah, to put that thing together. We someone was like, "Why isn't it on YouTube?" I'm like, dude, we had to record and piece that thing together part by part, and it took Joel. We threw a lot at him, and then recorded our parts and commentary, and Joel mixed and all that stuff, and that is not easy to do. So I want to definitely give him a shout out and say thank you. He didn't make it. He doesn't get paid to do that. He just gets to shit on Eric whenever he wants. Basically.
Does it for the love of the game. Thank
Yeah.
you, Joel.
Yep.
Good work, sir. Kevin writes in, Dear Sam, Norm, and Carla. So, first, God damn it, these people that are starting emails and tweets and all that with the word so.
You get Sam Malone. Oh yeah, the Boston Red Sox pitcher who now runs the bar. I get Nam, the fat drunk at the end of the rail.
Yeah, they know me.
And he gets Carla. Fuck.
Couldn't it at least be Woody?
Right, that might be more
I
apropos.
actually don't think that. Yeah, I think Woody would be.
Yeah, Nam.
Dude. So, first, love the show. And he actually wrote that, so. Can you just say first, comma, love the show? So.
So.
It's this, dude,
I know it bothers
have
you.
I officially grieved it?
You've bitched it. I don't know
It's
if you've
so
grieved
part
it.
of our language now. And I know I do it too. It's just one of these things you fall into, just like. Everybody's saying like
And
all the time.
look, listen.
The so thing is just such an odd one, man. But it's here to stay, dude.
I don't mind it that much.
So
So I was at the bar this weekend. Instead
no,
of just I was at
it's
the
not
bar
the.
this weekend.
So I was at the bar and this happened. It's this. So first, love the show from one of your younger listeners. I'm 23. See, there you go.
Yeah.
See, Kevin, you're 23 using the word so at the beginning of an email.
Yeah.
I hated talk shows for the longest time. Just wanted to hear music, but I worked on a crew with a bunch of assholes, and the crew leader would put you guys on every morning. And after probably 2 weeks, fell in love with the show. He wrote in. He was the Marine who had the big black penis on his shoulder. Remember, like his buddy
like
just
a huge black
like
dick.
turned around and the guy just flopped his dick over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Jay,
Loved it.
I know you're a visual learner. Here's the face go of the penis. So he was nice enough to send me a picture of the guy
With the giant black dick.
I mean, of course that guy has a giant black dick, right? I mean,
Shit. What's up, motherfuckers? Tiny ass white dick motherfuckers. I ever tell you about the time I laid 2 feet on my boy's shoulder? Shit. Could have choked him out with it.
Look at that guy, all smiles. Hell yeah.
yeah, holding the Mylar. We love Mylar.
Is it
What?
gay to want to request a picture or something, just some sort of proof?
No, yes, dude.
I mean-
Dude, just imagine it, okay?
Could you I just kind of want to
no.
I wanna just,
No.
I
Send
want-
it to Mike. Send it Walters@DetroitCast.com.
with an O. I want to open it up and just go, fair enough, and close it. That's it. I don't want to drool over it or jack off to it. I just want all
Let's
right.
just assume this is true. Okay, that the guy has a monster dick. That
Not
was
one
laying upon his friend's shoulder.
You know, you monster dick guys are all the same.
I've got your back on this. I kind of want to see, to see.
Of course you do.
I know, but
there's not, like, if it showed up and Ian and I looked at it and went, wow, holy shit, they weren't kidding me. Look at that.
Well, what do we need him
Go
to
ahead,
do?
you can take it home,
Do we
Ian.
need him to put it next to a dime for context?
Sure. Or if he's just standing there. If he's just standing there and it's like, wow. But you wouldn't at one point go, all right, just flash it here really quick. Let me see it. Just
No, I mean, haven't we had that experience, like the Jeff guy from Survivor, right? I mean, there's,
yeah.
You know, we've had
It's
that,
not
like,
gonna-
oh, okay, yeah, he's got a big
It's
dick.
not like
okay.
it's going to come on you.
I understand.
It's
It's
in a
just
photo.
I'd rather not see a dude's dick. I don't know. I'm just, whatever. Call me hetero. A grievance has found me, says Kevin, and I couldn't hold it any longer. Start the clock. When Mike Massey was playing Space Oddity, nobody clapped during the part when you had to clap. During the end, Bryce gave the little 2 clap, but where the fuck were you guys at the needed clap? Reference Mr. Deeds if need be. End of grievance.
Not bona fide at all.
Not bona fide.
No.
A couple reasons why. You want to tell him one?
You want to tell him one?
Well, I think, number one, the reason I wouldn't do that, I felt a bit snake bit by your stepping on Massey during the Turn the Page Skype. We know how big of a perfectionist he is. At the time, we didn't.
Yeah.
We know how big a perfectionist he is. I don't want to be the guy freaking jumping into his song.
Well, there's a technical reason why it didn't matter. Because we had Massey running through the board, and those mics and guitars were running through the board. And so when he was doing that song, we had flipped the board and we're on the Mike Massey page. Everything was active with them. That's why if you listen close, you can hear me say stuff like, I'm going to shut us off now, Mike, it's yours. And so our mics weren't even on. And so then when he was finishing the song and he would hit the last note, I would flip it back over and turn our mics on. But we could have snapped, clapped, and screamed as loud as we wanted.
Yeah,
and
Kevin.
Nobody would have heard you. Nobody.
No, I wasn't about to step on that dude's song.
It did
Anywhere.
bother me. I did want to during that part. I know what he's talking about, but it wouldn't have mattered.
Love you guys, especially when Big E stumbles on his own words, just like I just did.
Like that.
Because I have trouble talking sometimes, so it's nice to hear a familiar sound. P.S. Love the "Who are you?" When Big E talks in the mic. Please call into Bonnie. I damn near died laughing when I was driving. Dangerous, I know, still worth it. Also, can you give a hi to Dan? Hi, Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
In the Jerry from the Jacks voice, please. Good day.
Hi, Dan.
Oh, you said good day. Thanks for writing in, Kevin.
Yeah.
We'll save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, let's get out of here. Thanks to Tanith Belvin calling in.
That was nice of her.
Hot little Tanith
During
Belvin.
a very busy time.
Dude, from South Korea.
Yeah.
While broadcasting for the Olympics, she calls in here to ours, or lets us call her, at Tanith White on Twitter and I believe Instagram, and follow her. She's a great, great girl, and we really appreciate her popping on today.
Great woman, Mike.
Certainly didn't have to do that. So with that, we'll call it a day, and we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.